Yeah.
Era's had to move to that position 5 to allow Crit to play 4 for the stand-in role, because obviously they kicked Seneca a while back. And they looked really, really poor. So hopefully we can see better things from them today.
Yeah, it definitely did not look good for Ninjas in Pajamas. By the way, is it Ninjas in Pajamas or Ninjas in Pyjamas? Because they spell pajamas weird, right?
Did they?
Am I the only one who thinks that? Do they spell weird? Or maybe it's just a
No.
word you don't see that much. I don't know. I see the Oregon CSGO as well, so it always
you just
kinda,
never wear
weirds me
pajamas.
out.
Is that the?
Yeah, I've not been a pajamas guy. Fun fact: I just I sleep in the nude. It's just how it is. And now you guys all have that mental image. I'm sorry, but
turn it off. Turn the cams off. I don't want to see.
VP.Prodigy, Ninjas in Pajamas, back to the game, and a lot of people were expecting a lot from VP.Prodigy coming into this event, just because obviously Virtus.Pro, the main roster, had been playing for a majority since like VP.Prodigy had their breakout event, and I mean obviously coming now into the lower bracket, both teams, you're disappointed in their performance so far, but with VP.Prodigy, I feel like there's a lot more on them in a way. It's not like they dropped Seneko, their best player. They still have their full roster. So, VP.Prodigy, I feel like have a lot more to prove in this event instead of maybe getting a funk out right here going down in the first round.
Yeah, and they'll be really disappointed with their loss against Na'Vi yesterday. So, like you say, it's up to them to prove that they can be the better team here. I like their opening, though. I think this Doom set's are really strong here at the moment. It's insane. Enigma managed to last pick it in their game we just saw in the last series, which is crazy. I don't know how it got that far through a draft. And this Wind Ranger pick is like a little flex, but it's mostly going to be 4, right? Like this hero offers a good amount of lockdown with the shackle shot. I think historically it's been difficult to find position 4 players and 5 players that could land shackles. Because I think a lot of support players aren't known for their technical prowess historically, but that's not the case anymore. There's so many technically gifted POS 4 players, I think, around at the moment. We've seen Saxa play this hero as well. That it's nice to see this hero being played again as a 4. Because if you can hit shackles, the stun duration is such a huge amount of time.
I think yesterday, obviously, there were so many things that looked really good from OG in the series that we got to cover for them. Like everybody was like talking about mid one and Thompson and their play, but when Saxa got a chance to be on that Windrunner, like he played pretty well. Like it was kind of disgusting how well he played on that hero. So maybe Virtus.Pro, Prodigy are trying to emulate that in a way, because when you've got a good Windrunner like that, you've got someone who's confident with landing those shackles and executing the skill set of this hero. It really is a game changer.
Yeah, so
it's kind of disgusting.
Let's talk about NiP's picks, though. Obviously, this Venge TP isn't going to be a massive shock to anybody that's been watching Dota for a little while now. This Venge TP combo obviously very nice. Like you get the extra attack range on the meta, which is really cool. Like in the laning stage, you're possibly a little bit weak, but TB always finds the farm. If it has a rough time, just goes back to the jungle anyway. Doesn't really matter. You have the swap save potentially for anybody who gets doomed as well, which is really nice. And you can see in the second phase banning here from Ninjas that they're covering their TB pick in the first phase by banning these heroes out that are so good against TB. Morph having the ability to change into TB himself, steal that meta, makes Morph really strong. And the Batrider, obviously one of the better lanes, one of the harder lanes for TB to deal with. Even if you have the Venge to swap cancel the lasso, it doesn't really work like that. The TB just absolutely gets demolished in lane by the Batrider.
And Batrider has proven to be one of those heroes that can just take over a game. We saw it yesterday with Enigma with Weeha on it. Granted, he got a little bit ahead of himself when he had a good start, but at the same time, it is really disgusting. And they pick up the Shadow Demon here for Ninjas in Pajamas, Inura Jakiro, Virtus.Pro, Prodigy, but the Shadow Demon right away. I wonder what they're going to put with this. Obviously, they've already got the Venge with the TB, so you're not going to be seeing like that Mirana combination with the Shadow Demon, but obviously you're getting those illusions for yourself, which is going to be pretty nasty with that TB.
Yeah, it's really good. They kind of lack, I was going to say, a little bit of like AoE control and stuff, but so they go for the centaur, but now they have this really strong laning combo as well in the Shadow Demon Centaur. So it's not that it's just good with the TB, but it's also setting up for this. Like they could have picked something like Sanking as well, right? And it would have been the similar thing, where you get the setup into the stun, lots of damage coming through. I'm wondering if it's definitely going to be Doom 3 Wind Ranger 4 though. Should be interesting. And they go Naga on VP.Prodigy. Okay. They don't really have great ways of dealing with Naga at the moment. There's like not really any illusion clearing things. And now VP.Prodigy are probably going to ban out like Lesh Ember or something. Like these heroes that clear illusions relatively well. They do have the Shadow Demon, which can make illusions of the Naga, which is nice. But they need to be able to kill the Naga. And they have Song into Ice Path as well, which is really nice.
Oh my God, yeah.
Like if they can use their spells properly, like they have really good teamfight potential here. So I think this Venge in particular is going to have to make sure that she's going to be in a really good position to be able to try and save whoever gets hit by this combo early on. Like, because if the Venge gets caught in the Song as well, like they're going to have real issues. But they do have this like double save with the Shadow Demon and Venge, so it might be difficult for VPP to set up for that one.
Yeah, I mean they do, but like if you're getting a Song out, you're probably setting up for Ice Path, Shackle, a couple of things just to get some lockdown and maybe a power shot to come through. Like I think there's a lot of options here for you for VP.Prodigy. But the question now becomes like, is this going to be a Doom mid? Are you looking for an offlaner here? Or is this going to be that Doom offlane? I know teams have been going back and forth with where it's positioned.
Yeah, I mean, especially when it's the CIS teams, right? I think they're more likely to put the Doom mid. I think, with them being the region. But I would be very surprised if it wasn't off lane. I think here, when they pick a different mid hero here, they need something that that gives them this magic damage up against the TV. We've seen things like Zeus in the past as well. It's pretty good. Lina has been another one as well.
I actually think the Lina is so good. Like,
yeah,
it really fits.
It's pretty nice, isn't it? They need some kind of burst damage, whatever it is.
Ban that Ember. Ember's been a pain for a bunch of these teams. Just mobile, has those chains, like really sets up well for you. And obviously it's not going to be combined here with a Coddle if it's picked up by either team, because we have seen how disgusting that combo is, where it's just that early quick slides coming through.
Okay. I'd still be really surprised if this wasn't a Lesh ban though for VPP. I think they're probably thinking more about what they want to be picking last overall, and if they do want to pick something last, like is there something that they just don't want it to have to play against as well? Because I still think that something like the Zeus is really strong because they don't have great gap close on NiP. Like they've got the Stampede, which is obviously really nice, but
the Invoker.
It's a really good Invoker game, actually. They have really good setup for Sunstrikes and things as well.
Yeah.
And EMP obviously really good against heroes like Doom that have slight mana issues, potentially.
Could they potentially be picking the Shrek themselves?
They could, I guess.
Okay.
Okay.
So more control there. Get the Kunkka over mid. Doom goes into the off lane.
I think the Kunkka's kind of shows up their team fight a little bit as well, which they were lacking slightly, and they also give them a little bit more catch, which is nice. It's a solid laner as well, so when you don't have this last pick overall, like even if Kunkka ends up having a rough time mid, you can always just head to the jungle anyway. Yeah, they need some way of dealing with Naga here, and it needs to be able to lane up against the Kunkka as well. Could even see something like SF potentially, but I don't really like that hero at the moment.
I don't think they're going to go with something like the TA. Not that great against the Kunkka with the Torrent.
I still think Lesh is okay, but it has the same problem that it can just die to like this X+1 rotation from VPP.
Especially if a Windrunner just comes over.
Yeah, because Power Shot does such a huge amount of damage as well.
Yeah. And you're basically guaranteeing it with an X. Yeah. It's going to, time out and line up. Which I actually think is going to be pretty significant here if they get that rotation to come through, at the proper times. If you just get yourself a rotation X Torrent with a power shop full, like that's a lot to deal with over mid. You really need to be pretty happy with what you're going to be putting in this lane.
I'm really struggling to see if there's anything. There's nothing that like massively stands out to me. I just want them to make sure they have something that deals with the Naga, because otherwise I think their game's just going to be really difficult, especially if Naga gets out of control ever so slightly, because she will just snowball. Like they have double edge, which is okay, and they have the disruption, which is nice to make their own illusions. But
and there's the Lina.
Okay.
Lina though still feels like a hero that might just be susceptible to dying over mid.
Yeah, potentially, but again, it kind of works the other way, because if Crit ever rotates mid, they have the disruption into the LSA as well, or if like Supreme ever rotates up to the Crit lane, it's the same concept. I still think it's a really good Naga game. And I think Epileptic Kid's, though he didn't have a great series yesterday, I think he had been playing really well before that. So we'll have to see if he can live up to his high standards today.
So FN on the Kunkka, Epileptic Kid on the Naga, Ein on the Jakiro, Save with the Windrunner, DM on the Doom. This Jakiro definitely, like, there's so much here for him to just follow up with an Ice Path. You know, X-Torn Ice Path, get yourself a Shaco with the Ice Path, Song starts the Ice Path, hit, you know, a War Stomp from Doom eventually, as well as, you know, maybe hitting the Infernal Blade with the Ice Path, or even if the Shadow Demon goes for a save. Like, that gives you an opportunity if you're in the right positioning and get yourself an Ice Path. I feel like Jakiro has, like, such a great game in front of him.
Yeah, and this is a hero that we've started seeing a lot more this like tournament so far as well, right? Like, it's been picked up more than I thought it would have done at this point. So nice to see that hero back. I think it's cool to watch. Like, you have playmaking potential with the Ice Path, like you say as well. And if you really need like more points in dual breath to split push and things, like it's still fine. Like, the hero's pretty versatile. Can build a few different items if needed. But I think that Glimmer Cape being so strong at the moment is what you tend to see a lot of the supports buy anyway. Sometimes force, but yeah. I love these taunts, by the way. Looks so ridiculous.
That new voice line is kind of a lot.
Oh, the new ones are too much, guys. If you're spamming them in pubs, it's not okay. All right.
Prepare for battle.
All the Aghanims ones, they're so loud. Oh, so Jakiro started stick up against the Shadow Demon. Makes sense. And it'll be interesting to see how many points Saberlight puts in Double Edge early on in this lane. Tends to be the new build, especially against all the Naga illusions. I think having the ability to clear them out really quickly with Double Edge is always going to be nice.
That is what you sound like.
See how this lines out. They've got Charlie with Era up top, Supreme over mid. Yeah, pretty standard so far. So Crit's for sure in the 4, right? Yeah.
I would assume so. I mean, it's... Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's definitely going to be Crit on Shadow Demon 4. What am I talking about? Yeah. I think a lot of this game is going to come down to, like, not a lot of the game, but this game for VPP especially is going to come down to how much DM and save can do on this 3-4 combo. Because, like, if they can pressure this TB hard really early on in the lane, then they're going to struggle a lot on NiP, I think. Obviously, like we said, TB can always go back to the jungle, but, like, this Venge TB isn't the strongest lane duo. They kind of have to play around meta, and when it's not up, they need to be really safe. Because there's a huge amount of magic damage, especially that can come through from Scorched Earth and, like, Power Shot as well.
I think one of the most crucial things is staying on top of, you know, this TB, and if he does back up into the jungle, not allowing him to just have that sanctity of staying there. We see so many teams, you know, have a successful lane against these TBs, then they back up into the jungle, and they don't get bothered.
Yeah.
And they just come back.
They have good heroes that can pressure, though, in the jungle and stuff with the Wind Ranger and the Doom, right? Like, they can just run through. I will say, and I think this mid lane is going to be really interesting to watch as well. Like, both these mid laners have the potential to kind of like find really early kills, or like X plus rotations and things, or like LSA. So we'll have to see if anybody decides to make the first move in particular. Kunkka having a nice start though.
Yeah, already sitting at 6-2 to the Weena's 4-1. Supreme against FN. And, I mean, we've seen some great things from FN in the past.
Yeah, I think he's been playing really well recently as well. Like,
yeah.
Because when he joined the VPP stack in the first place, I was like, okay, like, he's good, but is he, like, enough for them to be, like, a serious squad? But, it feels like he's playing so much better than almost he ever has before, in a way. It's been good to watch.
There's a lot of expectations on this VP.Prodigy lineup, and you know we've seen such good things from them. So overall I'm really excited to see what they bring to the table this game or this series.
They're having a really good start in the laning stage on VPP. I mean, it's relatively close still, but like I think if we hang on, bot lane disruption.
Can they get this kill? They've got the Jakiro locked up. They'll get the kill on Ein. Crit helping out, and they've got the combination of the disruption with the hoof stomp and that early double edge. Actually, none into the retaliate. But you know, it's a bit different from what we used to see on these centaurs with retaliate, as there's no active component to it anymore.
Yeah, it's all about the burst damage though in this bot lane when you play this combo, right? I think he's probably going to put another point in double edge at 3 as well, I would assume. I mean, he might go 1-1-1 and then max the double edge, but
doing a bit of damage onto this Venge, but unable to get the kill. It's just 1-0 right now for the Silent Ninjas of Pajamas. And
No, you don't.
still FN, you know, he's looking really good, and Supreme's kind of caught up a little bit, so down just a couple of CS.
I think Era up in top lane though. Has he got more regen coming out on Courier? He's got a salve coming, I think. So he should be okay, but playing with fire a little bit here. Quite literally up against Doom.
And a Wraith Band coming in for the TB. That'll be a second Wraith Band. Salve being popped here by Era. So now Era just has those 2 Fairy Fires to keep him alive. If the ability to use them arises, if he doesn't just get killed while he's in like a Shackle or something. But the Metamorphosis as well as the Magic Missile, a lot of damage on a save. Shackle comes through to his illusion. Era looking for one more right click. But save.
He has a Mango stun in 1 second.
Might actually be able to turn this on Era with the help from DM. They'll trade. As Era goes under the tower and ends up dying after taking out save. So a 1-for-1. Probably we're hoping it would be a little bit more cleanly executed for Ninjas of Pajamas, but a good Shackle to make it a little bit more difficult. And then over bottom, Epileptic Kid goes down to crit. So they use that combination once again with the disruption as well as the hoof stomp, and they take out this Naga Siren. So far, so good for Ninjas of Pajamas.
Yeah, I think the level 3 on this bot lane for, I was going to say for EG, because that's what Crit was tagged up as. For Ninjas is so strong though, right? Like the 2 points in double edge, there's 180 damage plus 80% of your strength, which is, or 8% of 41. It's like an extra 32, so it's over 200 magic damage, right, on the double edge at level 2. And with the Shadow Poison damage coming through as well, it's really difficult for Naga to sustain herself in this lane with the constant double edge damage coming through. Like, Centaur has this Ring of Health and the Ring of Regen, so he has this constant HP, like, to sustain himself in the lane and keep spamming these double edges. So the illusions just die straight away, pretty much. Oh.
Interesting.
You conspired against me.
Everybody's here, ready to go. Should be. Nobody playing the Whack-A-Meepo. Oh, there we go. There we go. Supreme destroying. I know they can't see it.
I've got to show the playground now. Okay. Oh, keyboard issues.
So now both these mids have pretty much evened up on each other. 27-3 here for the Kunkka. Supreme was right up on him at 23 and 8 for a moment.
Yeah, and you have to remember that, like, Lena is normally really good at bullying these heroes out in the mid lane, right? Like, with the constant poke damage from Dragon Slave and whatnot. But FN can always just TP back to base with the X mark and just come back to lane at full health again. Like, he can refill his bottle as well. And I'd love to see Save, like, after he goes to pick up this 5-minute rune, he, like, looks to try and make a play mid, potentially. Like, to link up with the Kunkka level 6. Because they can find a kill on this Lina really easily. Like, FN's going to hit level 6 probably just before the Lina. And at that point, like, they can look to try and link up together and make a play. Charlie's doing much better up in this top lane than I thought he would do, I will say. He's getting more farm than I thought he would, at least.
He's 20-8 right now. Not a point where maybe he's forced into the jungle just yet, but if things start to get worse, we could see him just kind of back up.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it comes down to, can you keep an eye closely enough on this TB? Can you make sure that you don't allow him to just farm it all back, as we've seen so many times before? And I hate to reiterate something like that, but it just feels like so many times we see it. A TB backs up, you're like, oh wow, TB down 2k. We saw it yesterday. And then all of a sudden, TB comes back and can really destroy.
That hero's been, it feels like ridiculous for so long now.
Yeah.
Like, people, it's either been like not picked at all or like first phase picked, this hero. For ages, it feels like. There's been like so little in between. And I think, with a hero that has such high base damage, that's always going to be difficult to balance around, right? Doom's coming over for this bounty rune here.
DM wants to grab it. Era maybe trying to go the long way around, but you're not going to beat out a Windrunner with the Wind Run. They grab 3 bounty runes here for VP.Prodigy, keeping the game close, but they'll get the kill over bottom on the Ein again. Crit. He's now on a killing spree as he continues to work really well with this Centaur, having that disruption into the hoof stomp and double edge. So things right now for Ninjas in Pajamas feeling pretty strong in the bottom lane.
Supreme manages to just bottle up Crit to like above half mana now as well. Crit has these 2 wards, so he wants to get the vision towards mid. It looks like FN tried to make a rotation towards top lane as well, but couldn't find anything. But the thing is, like, because there's Shadow Demons left bot lane though, it means Naga has...
Ghost Ship comes at him, but there was no lockdown to keep him right there, and still, Save makes a rotation, as does Crit, so 3 heroes here for the side of Ninjas in Pajamas. Nobody else coming over for VP.Prodigy just yet, and Crit, oh my god, immediately de-wards that new Observer coming through from VP.Prodigy, so they're continuing to just converge over into the mid-tier 1. They're going to make something happen, looking to dissuade VPP from defending.
They're just trying to play around this catapult wave early on. Try and get a little bit of chip damage. Like, they're not going to be able to finish this mid-tier 1 tower, but if they can get it to land to, like, maybe around half HP, it's always going to feel pretty good.
So Crim moving forward, if they hit a disruption, they've got another stun to follow it up, or they've got another 2 stuns to follow it.
This Jakira has no TP, actually. So he's having to... Yeah, look, they're drawing on the map. He's like, I'm coming mid, but, like, this tower's already down to a 3rd HP. Like, this is so good for ninjas. And they're trying to keep the catapult alive as much as they can.
Shackle, Ice Path, damage being done here to Era, but is it enough? Wave of Terror thrown out on a save. It looks like Era's going to fall. Nobody really helping him out. They're just focusing on taking the tower for the time. But Supreme picks up this Invis, dives deeper into the jungle, might be able to kill FN. He does have the Laguna Blade available. And there's the stun with the Laguna Blade. Down goes FN. Supreme cleaning up the Kunkka, and they'll take out the tower. Although it does get denied by Save. A good job done there.
Yeah, at least they managed to deny the tower. It's like a saving grace, right? Because otherwise that whole like couple of minutes would have been awful for them. And they managed to get lane actually as well. Saberlight has finished his hood now. I think it was in base when he's just picked it up from dying, but even so.
What was the timing that Trinzai where you said about tier 1 towers going down? It was like 8 minutes, right?
Yeah, it's like 7-8 minutes with the catapult wave, right? Because it spawns at 5, and then it takes a little while to kill the tower. Yeah, we've seen a lot of these offlaners and carry heroes even come at like that 5-minute mark to try and protect or take the enemy mid-tier 1 tower. I think Nigma have been really good at it so far this tournament as well.
Step lively now. Your admiral is on board.
So, we saw Mind Control doing it on the Prophet yesterday. All sorts.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
So Royal Jelly here for the side of Virtus.Prodigy and Ironwood Tree for Ninjas in Pajamas.
Eras might be in a little bit of trouble top. No, there's no Scorched Earth on team. Okay.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
Right now,
attack.
DM's got Shockwave to work with.
Radiant structures.
They're going to look to
are
pressure this bot
fortified.
tier 1 tower here as well. Wow. They are all in on these towers early on, huh?
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, just keep the pressure on, especially while their top tier 1 is getting
Radiant's
pressured.
bottom
Save goes
tower
into the
is
trees,
under
but
attack.
Era TP's out. Good Arcane Ring for Virtus.Prodigy, an early tier 1 item that they're gonna be happy to pick up.
I mean, this Doom is massive, though. Like, he had 3 points in Devour by level 5. So his farm is so... Like, look at the net worth early on. It's like 4.6k, and the next highest is Lina on 3.8. Like, this Doom has phase drums, and it's 9 minutes into the game. I worry here for NiP, but this, like, when this Doom decides to make his first big rotation, what can they do to stop him? Like, it feels like you need to throw so many spells on him to kill him.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
We'll see what they're
Dire's top tower is under attack.
gonna be able to accomplish up against DM, who continues to now farm the Dire jungle.
Yeah, it's like they're swapping jungles, right, effectively. It's the same as normal, where Radiant starts to take over the top jungle, Dire starts to take over the bot jungle.
Radiant's
Disruption,
structures
bot lane.
are fortified.
Do they need Stampede for this?
Radiant's bottom tower.
Save.
I think Saberlight's
Power
dead.
shot out. Saberlight's actually the one in trouble. Gets hit with the X as well as the Torrent. They'll get the kill there. Tidebringer doing a lot of damage on the crit. Let's see if FN can come in and make sure he can't get away either. He doesn't actually have the mana for a TP out.
Oh, power shot
So
misses.
they'll run down crit. It's only a matter of time until they get that kill.
Yeah, that's a killing spree for FN as well. Like, that's almost 400 gold he gets. And he's actually getting Halberd first as well. Okay. It's pretty cool. Good up against the Lina as well. Like, the status resistance is really good this game as well. Especially up against the Purge from the Shadow Demon. It's going to make him so tanky.
Double damage.
Like, and you're going to be playing against these two, like, beefcakes in the Kunkka and the Doom now. And I don't know if they have enough damage on the NiP team to be able to get through that.
Money to burn.
Yeah, they're just kind of getting out-farmed right now and outclassed. You know, it's even at 5, so it's not really just a slaughter fest for Virtus.Prodigy, but look at where the net worths stand. You've got a Doom who's doing so well, going into a Blink Dagger, only a couple hundred gold away from that. But the movements coming in from FN as well as DM have opened up the map quite a bit for Epileptic Kid.
Dire's
Had that
bottom
early
tower is
death,
under
but
attack.
since then has really farmed a storm.
Yeah, and he's got Midas on the Naga as well. Which is like, I think they know that this game's going to be going on for a little while, right? Like, and the more that this game scales, they have a Doom with Devour, right? They have a Midas
They're going to look
Naga
for
as well.
DM. Let's see if they can get this kill. They've got the disruption into the LSA. They have the damage with the Laguna Blade. DM still
Nice.
survives for a second longer, but
Held your feet
the
to
kill is
fire.
inevitable as Supreme claims the life.
He managed to find him by himself. And that's such a
one of
big
the
kill.
bigger kills on the map.
Yeah, it's big because he's about to pick up Blink as well. So, like, what you're doing is not only are you killing him, but you're delaying that big Blink timing
Yeah.
on the Doom. Which
he
could
was
have
very
taken you
close.
by surprise, right?
For sure.
Dire's bottom tower is under
So just
attack.
sustaining right now at about a 3-4k lead. Going into the Manta style is Epileptic Kid. Of course, we talked about how he's got that Midas, and then the Kunkka early Heavens Halberd for FN. We've seen some Kunkkas go Orchid first item, but I do really like this Halberd up against this TV. Or even
I think-
against the Lina.
I think he just needs to go, like, either Halberd BKB or, like... I mean, he could go Radiance if he wants, but I don't think it's a great Radiance game.
So many different builds available for Kunkka at the moment.
I think he just needs to tank up and be that tempo, right? Because he trusts his Naga to carry this game. And this Doom's going to scale relatively well, too. So I think he just needs to make sure he can take all these fights early on. And they're going to make a smoke play here with this Blinked Doom. He found the Centaur neutral. So they're going to see this Lina under the ward they put down a little while ago. And try and go for this kill.
If they can get Supreme with this blink, revealing it would be nice. Pops a haste. Oh! Supreme with the Yules. That'll keep Lina alive. Epileptic Kid coming around the back. He'll get the kill here on a crit. So all they get for that is the Shadow Demon. A very good job there by Supreme. A bit slow, I'd say, on the trigger from the Doom.
Yeah, I mean, he wants to doom off the haste rune to at least get the doom off first onto the Lina, right? But she pops the haste rune so she can just run away. But like the turn rate just destroyed him so much, and this, like, as soon as this yours comes out, like the doom animation's so long.
All they get for that is a kill into the Shadow Demon. Epileptic Kid continues to farm within the jungle. Has the Yasha finished up. Still quite a ways away from finishing up the Manta completely, but you've got the Heaven's Halberd onto the Kunkka now going into the BKB. And it's also DM looking for a BKB, and the way he's been farming, it looks like the two of them are going to have it at similar timings.
He's only just kept 3 points in the Devour. They're going to go back for more points in the Infernal Blade now. Sometimes we see people put the Devour at 2 points. Sometimes they max it out. Just you have to be able to feel the game out. I'm worried for this TB though. Like, he's falling further and further behind the Naga because of this Midas difference.
Mm-hmm. About got this Yasha, not certain that's going to be enough. But it looks as though he's content with just farming for the moment, really sitting back.
Crit might be in a bit of trouble here.
Ooh, good disruption. Still, yeah, by the tree, Shackle connects, Ice Path follows it up, Crit's still dead. Good job there to avoid the first stun, but when you've got multiple lined up at you, it's not going to be an easy time, that's for sure.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
So another smoke coming in from VP.Prodigy. They're looking to keep up the intensity, looking to keep the pressure, make sure they can continue to shut down the side of ninjas in pajamas.
The thing is though, if they could find like a good kill around this Roche pit, like they can always just head in as well because they have the Naga Riptide. Like they do have potential to be able to take it down relatively quickly. Like it's not massive, but like they have the dual breath to help them out as well with the attack speed slow on the Roche. Nice D-ward here by Ein.
They've seen the first smoke themselves.
If they really want to be patient, they can wait for the BKBs to come out before they go for the Roche.
Oh, misses the stun. The Infernal Blade follows it up. A crit goes into the ulti. Now the Shackle thrown at this Shadow Demon. It will connect. The Power Shot follows it up. Now they've got themselves the Ensnare, but they don't get anything for all their trouble. Pretty well done there by Ninjas in Pajamas to make sure that VP.Prodigy don't dive them under this tier 1 tower.
Yeah, for VPP, they have to be so careful, though, because they have this ward on the high ground, right, which they really want to play around. They don't want to push too far in, where they lose all their vision. And they do still have this Blink Doom up and available, right, so...
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Save getting close to his own Blink Dagger. But, you know, all this time and all this focus over on mid, again, is opening up some space here for Charlie, who's continuing to farm. If you're VP.Prodigy, maybe you want to try and go around the map and find this TB.
But they gotta just commit all in for this tier 1 tower here, I think. Like, yeah, you see the Doom starting to run in as well. It's so difficult for NiP to contest this because they don't have the vision control in the area set up and ready. And they can always song and reset the fight if they need to on VPP.
They're going to go forward. They'll find Crit once again. They've got the stun with the Ice Path following it up. Shackle hits with the Torrent. They'll get the kill on a Crit. They'll look for more. They'll good way throwing at DM, but it's not really going to be enough damage. Ghost Ship hits on a Saberlight. Magpire down to him. Back up on the high ground over to the side, but he's not really helping out. They get the kill on an Era, so they lose 2 so far. Centaur in trouble. Saberlight shackled up, hit with the Power Shot, still pretty tanky, so he'll survive it all. Looking for this hook stop and gets it, but the Ice Path lands on 2 of these heroes. They've also got themselves the Song. Nobody dead on VP.Prodigy, and they're just gonna pull the cord and go.
I'm so surprised they didn't try and fight that. Like, they had Ice Path coming off cooldown again, ready for when the Song ended, and they have like this Power Shot coming through. It's level 4. I thought they'd be able to, you know, especially finish off this Centaur, maybe even the TB. But they respect them. They back off, realizing they're fighting under a tier 2. And they're just building their lead up further and further now. It's like 6k difference. Better to be playing on the safe side when you know you have the late game with this Midas Naga. You've got the Devour Doom as well. And like we said, they're really close to their BKBs now. So if they want to play safe, I think that, you know, that seems fine.
BKBs are getting close here for FN as well as DM. Meanwhile, the Naga Siren has the Manta style and now working on the Scotty. Does enough for that point booster.
Yeah, getting an Aquila as well feels so good on the Naga. I think
They have
poor
found Era. Yeah.
I was wondering, you know, since we've seen Era move to 5 for this patch, just because they kicked Seneko, right?
Dire's
So when I say for this patch, I mean for this tournament. Whether we will see him like carrying on playing POS 5 and they'll get a POS 4 in instead, or if he'll definitely still be staying as their POS 4, and then when they get their official 5 in, that's the way it'll be. I don't know how much Era enjoys playing this 5.
You know, it'll be interesting to see how this team roster progresses as time goes on, especially once this tournament is over. Of course, you've got yourself a couple of tournaments coming up after this as well.
I mean, obviously, like, a lot of people are very surprised that they kicked Seneko, and I think me, like, probably everybody in chat, me included. So it's going to be interesting to see how they do get on. But I'm not, you know, I'm not sold with what we've seen from them so far this tournament. Obviously, it's not ideal because they're not being playing with their full roster that they're working long term with. But I just feel like Seneko was such a big backbone of this team, you know.
Yeah, and seeing how they're playing since the kick almost kind of proves his value for this team.
Yeah, but you know, if they're playing with a stand-in, like, it's difficult to compare the two teams, right?
Yeah.
Like from before till now.
It's a bit early.
Because even when they get their new player in that they decide they want to work with, like, long term, it's still going to take a while for them to get to the same level where they were before. It doesn't just happen overnight.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
I haven't felt the impact from this Lina at all this game. Like, Supreme hasn't died. Supreme's 2-0-0, but it feels like we just haven't seen them try to make plays on the map. Like, they're just falling further and further behind to this this lineup that just outscales them.
Yeah. You know, he had a couple of pickoffs that looked nice early on, but afterwards, he throws a Laguna Blade of the Doom within that fight that happened behind the Tier 1 tower, and really, you didn't feel his impact.
Illusion.
Unfortunately not. And like with this Yule's Aetherlens build that he's gone for, it's so like all in on making these plays, right? And finding pickoffs, and
Step lively now.
we just haven't seen it from them.
Dire's bottom tower.
Now they
is
have
under
this like
attack.
almost double BKB out because Doom's about to finish his.
Fine Era again. They've got the X as well as the Torrent Power Shot comes in. Macropyre laid down as well as the Ice Path. They lock up Era, who throws a swap to kill off Ein.
They get the shot
Still
out
loses
on the
life.
team.
They at least get something.
That's fine though, right? Like, they wanted to get a clean Venge kill, but if they lose their Jakiro, it's not the biggest deal. Again, it's just the same thing though. This Naga's just farming in the meantime. Like, she's 500, 400 gold now off finishing the Skadi. And when that Skadi comes out, like, she's going to be so tanky. And then, you know, we talked about them having 2 beefcakes before. They're going to have 3. Like, 2 of them are going to have BKB and Naga's going to have a Skadi. I think you're going to start to see them posture around this Roche pit even more now with those BKB purchases online.
So in Roche, they're looking to go. They've bought out on that Scotty. They'll get it delivered over to Epilept Kid. And right on in with DM and Save. Everybody here, the whole party's coming through to get themselves the first Aegis of the game. We'll see if Ninjas in Pajamas can react, or if they even will react.
Oh, that's a nice.
It's a bit of a blunder.
It's fine, it's fine. It's a zoning ice puff. Just in case they came into the pit.
You're zoning right.
Do they... Well, Naga's gone bot here. They smoke up though still to fight with our. Or they were just heading down towards the bot side of the map, it looks like. Okay.
Not going to find anything within the triangle. We're over by the secret shop. As they use this smoke to move over. Everybody from the side of Ninjas in Pajamas, excluding the TV, are over in the top end of the map. But they might be able to find Crit. DM moving forward. Blink hits the stun. Saberlight right back at him. And now the LSA comes through onto DM with the Laguna Blade. They don't get the kill. He pops the BKB. They'll get the kill on a Crit. And now the Ghost Ship with the Ice Path blocking him up. LSA comes through, and that stuns up the Naga Sign. But I don't know if it's going to matter for Saberlight, who tries to TP out. But there's the Shackle thrown by Save. They'll get the kill onto the Centaur, taking out a third as Era dropped 2. And it's a 3-0 in the favor of VP.Prodigy. again continuing to just shut down anything down the steps of the base of Ninjas in
Dire's
Pajamas.
middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, it feels like such a slow burner, right? Like, it feels like we haven't been talking about a huge amount this game because it's been so slow. There's like not been a huge amount of action. But yeah, they're like all of a sudden it's like 23 minutes in, they're 11k up. Like this lead's just been building and building the whole game, and it's not like, I mean, NiP haven't really tried to make anything happen. It's so difficult though because this Naga's constantly pushing lanes in towards them.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
So they just have more of them. They have more of the map to play with. Charlie! Oh!
Dire's
just TP's
bottom
out.
tower has fallen.
You know, it's all that. We really haven't seen the TB at all. He popped meta mid, but didn't really fight with it. He's just been continuing to farm the entire time. He's 1-0-1. Like, you know, Charlie hasn't exactly done much, or really Ninjas in Pajamas as a whole haven't done much in fighting 5v5.
I mean, Era's died
not their
6
game
times. Like,
Yeah.
but apart from that, like, well, the supports have died 11 times between them of the 14 deaths. But like,
Yeah, Charlie and Supreme haven't died yet.
yeah, but they just haven't done anything, right? And they're falling further and further behind. So you have to decide
fight
at
Era
what
again.
point you want to fight them. Oh no, not the bench.
And the Shackle, they've got the clumsy net. Magic Missile comes through, but they have the Ice
Oh,
Path
look at
to follow,
Naga.
as well as the Torrent. They get the kill onto Era's Venge. Song comes in, locks up
Have they got
for
Ice Path?
GM, pops the
second.
BKB. Now they've got the Ghost Ship as well as the Ice Path. That'll hit on a crit. Crit's in trouble. He'll go down. They look over at Supreme, who pops the Essence Ring, but he is not getting far enough away. The Shackle connects. The damage is there. They'll take out Supreme for the first time this game as the Infernal Blade hits on a Saberlight as he tries to run. DM follows it up with a War Stomp. Saberlight tanky, but is he tanky enough to make it back to
Great
base?
Shackle.
They've got
Off the
everybody here. The
illusion.
Shackle hits. The Ice Path comes in, and now they'll continue to surround him and eventually get themselves a kill onto the Centaur. Another Shackle lands at a triple kill for FN. So the only one who doesn't die is the TV. Everybody else around him goes down on the side of Ninjas in Pajamas, and nothing is lost for VP.Prodigy in the entire exchange.
Yeah, they don't even lose the Aegis. Like, this Naga's still got it. She's almost finished her Butterfly now as well. Feels like just a minute ago she picked up the Skadi. And
Marks the spot.
it was a slow burner. It's turned into a little bit of a quick burner now, unfortunately for Ninjas.
To the gills.
And that flame gets, the quicker it burns.
Are you going to start throwing the exponential word around? That's the.
Exponential.
It's not exponential. Read.
Charlie, by the way, didn't pop meta in that exchange, so, I mean, I guess Ninjas in Pajamas could still fight. Save. Shackle. Oh! Hitting on crit as well as Charlie. And now things are going to go from bad to worse. They'll get the kill on a crit. And they look over at Charlie, throws the Sunder, survives for a little bit longer. The Laguna Blade not going to be enough to get the kill on FN. Charlie now on the run. They look over at Saberlight. The Mantle has been popped by Epileptic Kid. And the Shackle just constantly lands. Macropyre, Ice Path, no Sunder available for Charlie's pop Metamorphosis. They go after the hero, but they can't even get the kill on Ein. Finally, after the
Aegis
duel,
is still
can
up.
they finish him off? Ooh, no they can't! Ein survives, they'll take out the Aegis. Nobody really did just yet until DM falls, but the Ice Path lands out onto the Shadow Team. The Dragon Slave doesn't hit on the Ein, so the Jakiro survives. They look over at Saberlight, they're doing a lot of damage to get the kill on the Centaur. They look over at Era, who has been stunned up
there's
thanks
an
to
Ice
the
Path
song.
coming!
Ice Path will be available by Ein, who's been sitting on literally a fraction of health the entire fight. They get the kill on Supreme, he'll buy back, but they take out Era. They look over at Charlie, they've got themselves the Yules, so they'll lock him down, they'll kill off this TV, and this is a full team wipe in the favor of VP.Prodigy.
I mean, they're all just like they're commanding this high ground area, right? The whole fight, even though Ninjas have vision. This Wind Range is just sitting on the high ground and throwing shackles over and over again, like the whole fight. She has the -2 shackle shot second, -2 second shackle shot cooldown. That's a mouthful as well. And so these stuns are just constantly coming through. Like there's this constant poke, and Supreme's gonna die back here.
Macropyre, and yeah, Save getting credit for that kill.
But for you, I made
And it looks the same for NiP as it did yesterday. Like they don't look like they're doing anything massively wrong, but they just never look like winning the game, right? Like they're not making things happen. Oh,
Lose just the melee racks and 99% of the range racks. This is All of a sudden, a 26,000 net worth lead for Virtus.Prodigy.
Have we seen a Doom all game?
Radiant
Yes.
scanning.
I believe we have.
Have we had one? Like, it's just one, right?
I swear we did. DM coming through and Fertaway hits on an arrow though, uses the Stampede, but the ensnare is out onto the Centaur. And now the Shackle lands once again, save
and they do
on
not
it.
the Shadow Demon.
And they're going to blink forward, they're looking for Saberlight as well as arrow, but the stun comes in with a magic missile thrown and save. Follow that up with a stun from this Centaur, but it's not going to matter. They'll get the kill on the arrow. Saberlight survives, but the rest of the team is falling around him. Crit goes down as well. They've got the X as well as the Ghost Ship now being thrown at Saberlight. Charlie, all he can do is look as they lose their Centaur. It's not like he can try and save him.
Like, I mean, their spell usage this game has been so incredible. Naga had the song there to TP out, by the way. I don't know if you saw. She got really low at the back of the fight, so I think she was fighting the TV or something and somehow ended up almost losing. Not sure how, considering how far in front she is, but has that BKB coming now on the courier though, so I don't know how Naga's supposed to die for the rest of this game.
Be careful, Mo. I feel like every time you say somebody, you don't know how they're going to die.
That's why I'm saying it, B-Cop, because then the Naga will die, and then there's a comeback.
The game will come back. All right, fair enough. I feel like I haven't seen... By the way, Doom on cooldown, just if people were saying that Doom hasn't been...
Playing 2D chess, dude.
Yeah, you're playing 4D chess. Or the one from Star Trek, where it's on different planes.
Nice, nice.
Oh, save. Finding Supreme all by himself. He'll get the kill onto the Lina. Save has been fantastic. 7-1-16 this game. Jesus. What do you do at this point if you're Ninjas of Pajamas? Hope that Mo caster curses the Naga enough.
Controlling the tempo. Whole game, right?
Shiva's Ags. Torrent Storm is now something that they're going to have to worry about. 33,000 net worth lead, and it's really tough for Ninjas of Pajamas to, you know, not only hold the high ground, but hold the game in check at this point, as Illusions are just going high ground, pressuring all three lanes, saves up top here with Epileptic Kid. I mean, Ninjas of Pajamas are certainly on their heels, but they've been on their heels, it feels like, for a majority of this game. It's frustrating if you're a Ninjas of Pajamas fan.
Yeah, Ninjas this game feel like that little kid at a party who's nipping at your heels.
They're going to look for the Kunkka. Okay. They throw the Guna Blade as well as the Magic Missile. Can they get the kill on FN? Low finally drops. It will claim a life.
FN thought he was immortal, so got a little bit sloppy.
Swap. But they don't land the stun to follow it up. Now. He's staying alive as long as he can. He drops down the Macropire. Supreme staying in it. Ice Path hits.
Oh, they do the TB.
They zoom out onto the TB. TB already popped the Metamorphosis, but they've got the BKB pop by DM. Shackle comes in, doesn't connect, but it's not going to matter. They get the kill on Achari. They look over at the Lina, and another Ice Path lands. They get the kill on a Supreme. They look over at Saberlight. He's the last one alive. GG's already been called. And Kunkka will disconnect as he won't be alive before the Ancient explodes.
FN's absolutely livid that he couldn't take part in the last fight, dude. He's furious. That was all he wanted.
That's what you get for being, you know,